The issue on the table. France is on the verge of war with England. Now, do we provide aid and troops to our French allies, or do we stay out of it? Remember, my decision on this matter is not subject to congressional approval. The only person you have to convince is me. Secretary Jefferson, you have the floor, sir.
When we were on death's door, when we were needy, we made a promise. We signed a treaty. We needed money and guns and half a chance. Who provided those funds?
France.
In return, they didn't ask for land. Only a promise that we'd lend a hand and stand with them if they fought against oppressors. And revolution is messy, but now is the time to stand. Stand with our brothers as they fight against tyranny. I know that Alexander Hamilton is here and he would rather not have this debate. I'll remind you that he is not Secretary of State. He knows nothing of loyalty. Smells like new money, dresses like fake royalty. Desperate to rise above his station. Everything he does betrays the ideals of our nation. Hey, and if you don't know, now you know, Mr. President.
Thank you, Secretary Jefferson. Secretary Hamilton, your response.
Come on, let's see it. I would love to hear it. Come on.
You must be out of your goddamn mind if you think the president is gonna bring the nation to the brink of meddling in the middle of a military mess. A game of chess where France is queen and kingless. Who signed a treaty with a king whose head is now in a basket. Would you like to take it out and ask it? Or should we honor our treaty, King Louis's head? Do whatever you want. I'm super dead.
Enough. Hamilton is right.
Mr. President.
We're too fragile to start another fight.
But, sir, do we not fight for freedom?
Sure, when the French figure out who's gonna lead them.
The people are
The
leading.
people are rioting. There's a difference. Frankly, it's a little disquieting. You would let your ideals blind you to reality. Hamilton,
Sir.
draft a statement of neutrality.
Did you forget Lafayette?
What?
Have you an ounce of regret? You accumulate debt, you accumulate power, yet in their hour of need you forget.
Lafayette's a smart man. He'll be fine. And before he was your friend, he was mine. If we try to fight in every revolution in the world, we never stop. Where do we draw the line?
So quick-witted.
Alas, I admit it.
I bet you were quite a lawyer.
My defendants got acquitted.
Yeah. Well, someone ought to remind you.
What?
You're nothing without Washington behind you.
Hamilton.
Daddy's calling.
It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side. It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side.
Every action has its equal opposite reaction. Thanks to Hamilton, our cabinet's fractured into factions. Try not to crack under the stress, we're breaking down like fractions. We smack each other in the press and we don't print retractions. I get no satisfaction witnessing his fits of passion. The way he primps and preens and dresses like the pits of fashion. Our poorest citizens, our farmers, live ration to ration as Wall Street robs them blind in search of chips to cash in. This prick is asking for someone to bring him to task. Somebody give me some dirt on his vacuous mask so we can at last unmask him. I'll pull the trigger on him. Someone load the gun and cock it. While we were all watching, he got Washington in his pocket.
It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side. It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side. Look back at the Bill of Rights,
Which I wrote.
the ink hasn't dried. It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side.
So he's doubled the size of the government. Wasn't the trouble with much of our previous government size?
Look in his eyes.
See how he lies?
Follow the scent of his enterprise.
Centralizing national credit and making American credit competitive.
If we don't stop it, we aid and abet it.
I have to resign.
Somebody has to stand up for the South.
Somebody has to stand up to his mouth.
If there's a fire you're trying to douse, you can't put it out from inside the house. I'm in the cabinet, I am complicit in watching him grabbing and power and kissing. If Washington isn't gonna listen to disciplined dissidents, this is the difference, this kid is out.
Oh, this immigrant isn't somebody we chose. Oh, this immigrant's keeping us all on our toes. Oh, let's show these veterans who they're up against. Oh, Southern motherfucking Democratic Republicans. Oh, now follow the money and see where it goes. Oh, because every second the treasury grows. Oh, if we follow the money and see where it leads, get in the weeds, look for the seeds of Hamilton's misdeeds. It must be nice, it must be nice
the money and see where it goes.
It must be nice, it must be nice.
The emperor has no clothes.
We won't be invisible, we won't be denied. Still, it must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side.
I hope you're happy.
Sir, is this about the Whiskey Rebellion in Western Pennsylvania?
You could have given me a word of warning.
Because it is your Secretary of State, Thomas Jefferson, who has been agitating these men.
Thomas Jefferson resigned this morning.
I'm sorry, what?
This is expensive stuff.
The whiskey tax is very unpopular but necessary.
Haven't you talked enough?
I hate to think about what Jefferson will do when he's no longer in this cabinet.
Why?
Imagine the damage he'll inflict agitating from the outside.
He's gonna run for president in 2 years' time.
But you'll still be president, sir.
I won't be president in 2 years' time.
You could remain as long as you're alive.
One last ride. While I'm in my prime, I need you by my side. While we still have time, we're gonna teach them how to say goodbye. To say goodbye, you and I. Let's begin. First, write my farewell address. Madison wrote the first draft, it's a mess. Start with his words or start from scratch.
To you, sir.
Down the hatch.
Now what about the rebels who are mad about their whiskey?
I have a plan, but it's risky.
What is your plan, sir?
If I still fit in this thing, we're gonna turn around and win this thing. One last ride. Let's show these hellions I'm gonna need you by my side. We know from rebellions, we're gonna teach them how to stay in line, to stay in line. You and I. Hey, 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 I never wanted a crown. I never wanted to leave. But I couldn't turn my back on a nation in need.
Sir, you were born to lead.
One last ride. Past my prime, but I heard served with pride. While we still have time, we're gonna teach them how to say goodbye. You and I.
Western Pennsylvania, here comes the president.
Oh my God.
Here comes the president.
Everybody put your guns down.
Here comes the president.
Really, B? It is. Look.
Here comes the president.
Washington. You are outgunned.
What?
Outmanned.
What?
Outnumbered.
Pay your
Outpassed.
fucking taxes!
Put your guns down on my command.
Hand them over!
This is Hamilton, my right-hand man.
Boy!
Outman,
You hear it?
outnumbered,
Now that's the still
by the
spirit!
greatest man in all of the land.
Please rise for your president!
George Washington.
Though in reviewing the incidents of my administration, I am unconscious of intentional error, I'm nevertheless too sensible of my defects not to think it probable that I may have committed many errors. I shall also carry with me the hope that my country will view them with indulgence, and that after 45 years of my life dedicated to its service with an upright zeal, the faults of incompetent abilities will be consigned to oblivion, as I myself must soon be to the mansions of rest.
I anticipate with pleasing expectation and retreat, in which I promise myself to realize the sweet enjoyment of partaking in the midst of my fellow citizens. The benign influence of good laws under a free government, the ever favorite object of my heart, and the happy reward, as I trust, of our mutual